So hi Bailey, so nice to see you after 2 years now. You were a student in the Asturias program 2 years ago in the fall of 2018. How are you?
I am good. It's wild to see you. It has been forever, but very excited to be here.
Could you tell us about your goals and maybe how they evolved, since you did the program?
Of course. I started the program. I was, like 18 or 19 years old, had no clue what I wanted to do. I was studying world languages and international studies, so had a little bit of Spanish, was doing a little bit of French, and then lots of political science. I was very focused on this political science. I was going to go and be a diplomat or something. That was the goal. And so went to this program, wanted to work on my Spanish, wanted to get a little bit of the vibe of Spain life. And while I was there, I did my internship at La Fundación de Solidaridad Amaranta. And it was completely life-changing. It was the first time that I had been exposed to a topic that was so powerful and so moving, and a cause that was so driven by just the passion of the people to help a specific group of people. And so the women that I met at La Fundación were absolutely incredible, took time to speak with me every single day after work. We would have hour-long just talking about human trafficking and about the domestic violence and anything that affected women. We sat there and we talked about it, and I grew such a passion for issues concerning gender violence and issues concerning women empowerment in general. And so at this point, I'm looking towards getting a master's in leadership and hopefully pursuing a Fulbright, which would be awesome, in Spain. I would really eventually like to host a conference for women that deals with female empowerment and has some kind of sector that gives back to the community and provides either life coaching or therapy or some kind of service to women in marginalized situations. So.
Great. Well, I think if I remember well that your research, because each internship goes with a paper, la thesis, you addressed more specifically legal issues, right?
Yes, so we specifically looked at the processes of rehabilitation of two women within La Fundación, and one was from within the European Union, the other was from outside of the European Union, and we kind of looked at those processes and how they differed and, just where they converged and diverged. It was very interesting.
Great. Did you use that research afterwards?
So even to this day, that is what I am most proud of, is that research project. It was 35 pages of straight Spanish. 3 months of work was incredible. And I use it to this day to talk about in interviews, to talk about in my honors program. I'm using it as my honors culminating project is going to be this thesis that I worked on. And so
that's what IFE alumni actually do, using that first quite significant piece of work to just, move forward and use it for a more ambitious, final work.
Right. And in the La Fundación, they kept a copy of it, and they said that they're going to use it to further research in the same kind of field. So it was super awesome. It was incredible.
Wonderful. And hearing you, I realize how much we ask from you. Actually, this is not an easy semester because you get that first preparation session with the 6 weeks of classes about Spanish societies, politics, culture, and then you have that 3 months full-time internship plus the research. Could you comment on that?
It was a lot, but it also led to so much personal growth, and also just to prove to yourself how much you can do in 4 months, because I was in Spain. I think I got there on August 21st, and I left on December 21st. So very small period of time, but the amount of personal growth that I saw, the amount of confidence that I grew, because when I got to Spain, I would not walk in a Spanish store by myself. I would not do it. I was so terrified that they would ask me a question and I wouldn't know what they were asking. And by the end, I was going shopping for my host mom, Anna, and buying things for the house and getting presents for the kids. And so just the amount of confidence that you get. And then on top of that, the practical experience in writing a huge research project, the practical experience of holding a job and being in this internship and dealing with not speaking the language as your native language, and yet working among people, and the growth was immense. You ask a lot, but it leads to so much growth and
Yeah,
such an
we
incredible
trust you.
experience.
We know you can get there, so we do
That's
trust you.
right.
Do you feel that like you were supported either by IFE staff or the people at the internship or your host family?
All of the above. So anytime we ran into any issue, Lorena was right there to step in and help and meet with us and talk through things. You said on
Lorraine is
multiple
the
occasions.
local coordinator.
Yes, yes. And so very much enjoyed her presence. She was so easily accessible and very much cared about us as human beings. And then on top of that, the people in my internship were always looking to push me further, like consistently making sure that I was challenged in the research that I was doing, and consistently making sure I had the resources to do the research that I was doing. And so the amount of people that they reached out to for me to get other resources or to get other information, to get other input, incredible. And then on top of that, my host family is literally my favorite ever. I absolutely love them. I still talk to them to this day, and they were probably the biggest support system was my host family. Anytime I was having a hard day, Anna and David were there to take care of me. The kiddos were jumping on me, making sure that I was smiling and having a good time. They got me plugged into the community with other, like, their friends' kids who were my age, and other opportunities. So, like, we went to tons of festivals together. The host family was absolutely incredible and absolutely enriched my experience.
Wonderful. And you came back, actually. You came back the summer after your semester. I was lucky enough to be there when you got back. So you're still in touch with them.
Yep, it was fantastic. Was dying to get back. So about a year later, I went back and visited, and we are waiting for this situation to end so we can go back and visit them again, because they have my heart. I miss them.
Great. What about the biggest challenge you faced during your semester and how you went through it? Could you tell us more about this?
So the biggest challenge that I faced while I was in Spain was the fact that everybody else was so comfortable speaking Spanish, and I was the only person that was out of my comfort zone completely. Like, yes, I'd studied Spanish since the 8th grade, so by this point we were 5 or 6 years into Spanish study, but being the only person that is uncomfortable is wild, is scary, but is also such a humbling experience, and also completely changes your perspective. I mean, the amount of perspectives that I saw in Spain that were completely different from my own, the amount of ways that I found to approach a situation that were completely different from the way that I would in the United States, absolutely eye-opening, opened up a whole nother world of possibilities. And yeah, I think just being so uncomfortable in a space, and yet having people who are there to love you, not because you speak the same language, not because you're fantastic at relating, but because you are an awesome person. You're here to really push yourself. And so they're here to help you out. That was one of the most incredible experiences, just in terms of gaining confidence. Like, I can be not perfect. I can mess up all of the time, and yet these people are still around me to support me and push me and make me even better. And by the end of the semester, you see so much growth. I was having in-depth conversations, arguing about domestic violence in Spain with my host family and their friends. And so the growth is very much apparent.
We don't want to support you too much so that you feel too comfortable. But of course, we don't want you to feel so challenged that you would panic. So that balance is not easy to achieve. It's a teamwork, actually, between IFE staff and each student. But the way you describe it is actually, the success story we all hope for, obviously.
Well, and it's awesome. And y'all make it really great, because y'all encourage that open communication, where if we're struggling too much, then we will let you know. But we also know that some things we're going to have to get through on our own. So y'all do a great job with that.
What advice, what tip would you give a candidate to the IFE program, or warning?
So I've thought about this one a lot, because my Spain experience, getting to Spain was a whole mess of a situation, right? And I had a lot of moments where I was having doubts of, like, am I not supposed to go? am I going to know enough Spanish? Am I going to be really lonely? Am I, all of these anxieties, all of these doubts about whether or not I should do the thing. My one piece of advice is to go for it and to make it happen, because if your heart is calling for it, if this is your passion, if you are trying to improve your Spanish, if you are trying to push yourself out of your comfort zone, if you are trying to do something completely new, this is the best program, and you just have to push through. You just have to push through the fear, because when I tell you 2 weeks into this experience, I was already in love and already having the absolute time of my life, and halfway through was already dreading leaving 2 months later. I mean, you just have to go for it. The anxieties are going to be there. The doubts are going to be there, but they're all just thoughts, and your passions are what matter. Your passions are what matter. So just go for it.
Well, that's great.